So I don't know if you guys know this about me. I only complain about it constantly, but I am quite poor. I do technically exist beneath what is considered the poverty line. No family to rely on, ever unstable housing, and yet I think I've spent at least all of 2025 kind of in shock and awe at what an insanely privileged existence that I live. I mean, for one, look at this great big city that I live in. Well, obviously I don't live here in the middle of the city, but I do live close enough that I can comfortably ride my bike down here whenever I feel like it. And, you know, it hasn't always been that way for me. I mean, I've spent most of my adult life completely subject to the whims of inefficient and unreliable public transport. And, you know, even after I got my electric bike, I've spent like most of my time in Melbourne in like the far outer suburbs, which is a pretty miserable existence to live. So with how much happier that I am with where I'm living at right now, it's kind of got me wondering, is it necessary to have suffered first to later appreciate more mundane aspects of your life? You know, I say that because, I mean, I think, right, yeah, I'm a lot happier with where I'm living at right now. I get a lot of joy from just going around doing errands. You know, the area that I live in is nice. It's easy to get around on a bike. You know, I enjoy making the trip down into the city, right? It's a nice, quick, pleasurable ride. But I kind of know that if my life had always been this way, I would probably take all of this for granted. So I do kind of feel that maybe suffering is necessary, but it's not just that, right? It's not just that it's easier for me to move around now. I feel like I'm applying this logic to just a lot of things in my life, just in general. You know, I do honestly think that like essentially because my upbringing was quite rough, that in a way I've kind of gotten like the worst, like I've gotten the lowest points of my life out of the way. Like I have like a baseline idea of, okay, like what is the worst that things can possibly be, and I'm not, like, I have basically no anxiety that I will ever be in those kinds of circumstances again, which is a pretty comforting existence to live, I think. But somehow, like, saying this feels kind of wrong. Like, I'm essentially telling myself that I'm happy now only because I've been unhappy previously. It just, somehow that feels wrong. It kind of sounds like cope, I don't know. And, you know, and I can kind of, like, I can understand somebody being offended at what I'm saying, like, you know, well, I also had a rough upbringing, and, you know, now I just have PTSD. Like, you know, I'm not insane. Like, obviously I appreciate that, you know, being unloved as a child has, you know, consequences for what kind of adult that you'll grow into. But that is kind of why, you know, this what I'm saying, like, is suffering necessary to be happy, kind of, you know, is an idea that rests uncomfortably within me. So, well, I mean, I don't know. Like, all that to say, right, is it necessary to have suffered first to then be happy later? I mean, I don't know. What I do know is that you're going to be, like, just day to day, right? Like, you're going to be happy with your daily life if you can extract joy from the most mundane parts of your daily life. And, you know, if you are, like, taking things like that for granted, like, if you're taking, you know, like, if your life has kind of always been relatively comfortable, you know, you're probably taking, like, a lot of things that, you know, that are good in your life for granted, right? So if you're taking things for granted, then you're probably not thinking that much about them. You're probably not, you know, extracting much joy, right? So I don't think that necessarily means that you need to suffer to be happy, but probably does help in some ways, right? Anyways, it's like 12 in the morning right now. There is this boba place that I know does boba until like 2 in the morning. I have picked up a lot of DoorDash orders from this place, but I've never actually gone there and gotten a boba myself. So I think that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna go get a 12 a.m. boba together. I think that's in the spirit of this channel. It's just down in South Bank, so we're gonna check it out. Okay, this right here is the spot, teaser. It's just down in South Bank. Probably not gonna really talk or film much inside. Kind of awkward about talking to the camera while people are around. Okay, so that was kind of weird. Like, I'm relatively new to the boba lifestyle. Like, is brown sugar not like a super standard like boba drink that they have at like every place? Like, I went in and I asked for a brown sugar, and they like didn't know what I was talking about. But I mean, what I got looks like a standard brown sugar to me, so I don't know. I don't know. You know, boba experts, leave a comment. Like, is brown sugar not like? That's what I order at the other two places that I go to. So I don't know. Whatever, I guess. We did get there in the end. Yeah, this place seems cool. They've got like a little like mini mart for like Asian snacks, and they've got like a gaming area upstairs. I think it's like board games, and I think there's like a little internet cafe or something. So I don't know, aside from the fact that I didn't know what a fucking brown sugar is, you know, this place has like good vibes. The like people at the counter the like employees were sharing some kind of gossip that sounded interesting amongst themselves. Anyways, I'm gonna head back up to like South Bank Boulevard to enjoy this boba. Okay, real fans will recognize this spot as the spot that I was in the chocolate cornet video. Technically this is not part of like South Bank Boulevard, which is over there, but you know, still get the view of everything, and there's generally not too many people wandering around on this side of the river, so it's a good spot. So I went on that rant earlier, you know, partly because I do appreciate that getting a 12 a.m. boba is kind of exemplary of the grotesque excesses of the developed world. You know, I mean, like, if you want a boba at 12 in the morning, like, most people really can't do that unless, you know, they live close to the middle of a big city. So yeah, I do think it is kind of a huge privilege. You know, maybe you know, me getting a boba at midnight alone is loserish, unemployed behavior, but I choose to simply see this as an example of how lucky and privileged my life is. So cheers. Okay, it's not very sweet. I feel like they only put like that like like the brown sugar like syrup, and I think they didn't add like the other sugar. I mean, I don't even, what even goes into a brown sugar? That's just the drink I order. It doesn't mean I fucking know what's in it, but I mean, it still tastes pretty good even if it's not very sweet. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you think suffering is a necessary part of joy? Leave a comment. Check out the Patreon. I do monthly videos. This month's video should be up probably over the weekend. Okay, bye.